On July 14th, 2016, the Daily Mail reported that Bastille Day in Nice, France, was disrupted by a man named Mohamed Boulel. A father of three, Boulel was reportedly suffering from depression after just going through a divorce. And on Bastille Day, men and women walked the streets not knowing that their lives were about to be forever changed, and for some even ended. Boulel, who was driving a large truck, jumped the curb and proceeded to run over innocent people. He swerved back and forth, hitting pedestrians, and they were tossed aside and pushed under his truck. The massacre only finally came to an end as Boulel was shot to death by police. After the attack, 84 people were found dead, and just over 200 were found injured. Lives were, in fact, forever changed, and the lives of friends and family members were also changed, as they would now be forced to plan funerals for those whose lives were stolen that day. Mohamed Boulel died with the blood of 84 people on his hands and 200 wounded. He did it with a truck. Late Sunday evening, October 1st, 2017. A man who I will not name sat in his Las Vegas hotel room, and in the streets below, concert goers were enjoying the final night of a country music festival. In fact, Jason Aldean was in the middle of playing a song on stage when a string of gunshots filled the air. At first, people were confused, and Jason Aldean continued to play for a moment. But as the reality set in to what was going on, Aldean and his band rushed off the stage and more gunshots rang out. Naturally, chaos ensued. Jackie Hoffing told The Guardian, quote, "It was hysteria. There were people trampled. We jumped walls, climbed cars, ran for our lives. I've never run that hard or been that scared in my whole life." As police closed in on the shooter's room, he turned a gun on himself and ended his own life. 23 firearms were found inside of his room, and ammonium nitrate was found in his car. The Las Vegas Review-Journal reports that 59 people died and 527 people were injured. All of this was done with guns. Inevitably, in the aftermath, many people call for more gun control. They want stricter background checks, banning of certain firearms and certain firearm accessories, and they look to other countries for laws to adopt. Many times people, they just don't know how to react, and they just want the violence to stop. They just want something done. And I know it feels right for some to call for more gun control after a tragedy like the one in Las Vegas, but the truth is that humanity will always find ways to commit atrocities when evil enters their hearts. One such story: in May 2010, the BBC reported at least 5 knife attacks in China over the span of 2 months. In one story, one case had 28 school children and 3 adults stabbed by an attacker. Another story on September 11th, 2001, something we're all familiar with. Radical Islamists hijacked 4 planes, flying 2 of them into the World Trade Center Twin Towers. And the Washington Post tallied 2,996 people dead and over 6,000 injured. Implementing more gun control measures will not likely stop gun violence, but it will place more burden on law-abiding gun owners. Criminals, you see, will always find ways to obtain weapons, and there will always be illegal markets for criminals to obtain them. And let's say there were no guns. If there were no guns, the anecdotes I mentioned prove criminals will use whatever means necessary to commit evil. The problem in America is not a gun problem. It's a heart problem. I'm Rich Carroll. Thanks for joining me. God bless.